Good morning, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together, putting on our makeup and learning a Bible verse. So the foundation verse for this podcast is going to be Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And me and the mouse in my pocket, have been working on a planner, journal, coloring book for memorizing the book of James. So that will be season 3 coming near the finish line. So I am super excited to one day in the near future be able to present that to you. So we have been working through Psalm 34. And so I know we're gonna put the 2 episodes together. So this was episode 16 and 17. And one of the reasons why I chose this one is because I just love that song. Lots of people have done it, but my favorite version is the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. So the verse was, "Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me from all my fear." And that was Psalm 34. 3 and 4. And then this week we're going to be working on the next part of that, which is verse 5. Those who look on him are radiant. It's hard to see that without singing the song. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces will never be ashamed. And so I have included that song for you from Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. We'll take a look at that at the end. We'll not take a look at that, but we'll revisit that little topic at the end of the podcast. Okay, so our easy makeup thing for today. Last week we were working on, hold on, I moved it there. We were working on the Fula, and our look was kind of a orangey red teal kind of thing. And so this week we're going to stay working with the Fula. Something a little different though. Our theme today is going to be in teal. So that will be fun. If you have blue eyes, brown, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Teal is just beautiful. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So we are going to jump right in with both feet. Let me get that verse scrolling across the bottom of your screen for you. All right, there you go. So those who look on him are radiant. They will, oh my gosh, I keep singing this song. Those who look at him are radiant. They'll never be ashamed. Hold on, where does it go? And their faces shall never be ashamed. Okay, and their faces shall never be ashamed. Okay, so that's going to be scrolling across the bottom of your screen. I hope you do a little better than me with that so far. Okay, we're going to start out with the Urban Decay All-Nighter Face Primer. This is going to give you a little bit of grip, help your makeup to last better. It's going to remove the separation if you have any of that. It's just a great makeup extender. I am putting that over my lips as well. That's going to help your lipstick to stay in or out, whatever the case may be. And then we're going to do that around any kind of area where you have a little unevenness in your skin texture. It could be pores, could be fine lines and wrinkles. It's just going to help to blur out and smooth that out. All right. Oh, you know what I forgot today? I do not have, well, let's do that. Okay. So then we're going to move on to our concealer. And this is the Bye Bye Under Eye. And this is the shade 11 Light Nude. I know, I get asked all the time, why do you not switch your concealer? Because this one's awesome. Okay, and I hear lots of you dinging in, so let me get my chat going over. Good morning. Good to have you all with me. And we're just going to use a little bit of that there. And this is going to go any place where you need to conceal. So for me, that's going to be under the eye. Got a little darkness happening there, right in the corner. Going to get right up to that lash line. I got redness down the center of my nose and right up there. So this is about, I'd say, a shade and a half lighter than what my foundation is. Okay, I can't do it. I have to have a tissue. You get in these habits of things. Always have a tissue in my lap for wiping off whatever comes your way. One of those things is the excess concealer on your fingers. All right. So now back to what we're doing. So I am going to take Well, today I'm going to be using a kabuki for the foundation. You'll see why in just a minute. So I'm going to use this to blend it out. We've let that set on our skin for just a minute. So that has had a chance to kind of warm up. So it's going to be easier to blend out. So we're just going to use that kabuki. And don't you just love saying that? Kabuki. All right. And so I know sometimes I can't with me either. Okay. And we're just going to let that blend in that concealer. So when we come back over it with our foundation, it will all be seamless. And we're just kind of elevating, if I can talk this morning, we're just kind of elevating that area just a smidge. So that when we get our foundation on there, it's all going to blend out. So you can see it just lightened it just ever so slightly. And now that you can't see the redness, there's evenness, and it's just going to be so much better when we get our foundation on. So speaking of foundation, I'm trying something new. So I was doing a shade match yesterday. I know. I literally have not worn this foundation yet. I was doing a shade match yesterday with the, what's it called? Fenty Eavesdrop Blur Plus Smooth Foundation Stick. And so I was looking at that on her skin, and I thought, you know, that just looks so beautiful. Her skin was a normal, really red in that normal area. And so little combo happening. So about the same as mine. And it just blended out so beautifully. I just was beside myself. So I am working off of a little sample here. So we are going to be using that kabuki to put that on today. This is a stick foundation, hence the name Blur Smooth Foundation Stick. So when you do this, you're going to actually have a stick, and you'll blend that, put that on, and then blend that out with your brush. So it comes out, well, this may be easier said than done. Okay, so I have a hunk. So, okay, and part of that hunk just fell. Okay, so maybe this isn't going to be as easy as I thought. Okay, so we've got it on our kabuki. And we're just gonna, wow, that really does blend out nice. Okay, let me see if I can get a little bit, maybe not that hunk I had. A little bit of this really does seem to go a long way here. Oh, can you see that? Look at that. So this one is a light medium coverage. So I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that. But you don't knock it until you try it. You make your kids eat peas, right? So testing out makeup things, that's your peas. Okay. Hey, Perry, good to see ya. And then we're just going to bring that foundation right up to where you have that concealer. Okay, so let's look really close in there. So you can see it's set nice. Okay, I'm kind of digging it. It feels a little, just a little tacky. Of course, you know, I'm always full coverage foundation, so I might have put a little extra on there. But it really blended out pretty. I'll see how it does with my fine lines and wrinkles throughout the day. We'll come back with a follow-up on this. Seriously, for a light coverage, I mean, that's really pretty. It's got kind of a soft matte finish. Now, it might perform a little bit differently depending on what you're putting it on with. Like I said, I've got a kabuki. This is the number 213 from Real Techniques. I think it's called like the kabuki oval blurring foundation brush or something like that. So I'll put a link to that in my show notes. So if that looks interesting to you, you can try that. So we're going to set this now. I'm going to be using my Beauty Blender Puff. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. And then we're going to be using, if I don't drop everything, we're going to be using the Hourglass. This is the Veil. And I love this. This has a tiny bit of banana color to it. So it's going to help just a little bit with, you know, evening out, setting, keeping that nice, pleasant matte finish that you like, unless you don't like that. But you can, even with this, great setting powder. If you want a dewy finish, just come back with a dewy setting spray. So we're going to start out with the tip, and we're just going to get that on the tip, and we're going to work that around our eye area. Set that first. Why do I set the eye area first? Good question. So one of the reasons I set the eye area first is as you get older, you get like little wrinkles and crow's feet and things up around here. If you let that sit for too long, before you set that, your foundation or concealer or whatever you got is going to have an opportunity to get in those spots. So if you set it before it has a chance to move into those spots and settle there, then you have nipped it in the bud. I believe the expression is a stitch in time saves 9. Okay, so now we're going to move to the chunky end, the round end, the egg-shaped end. And it doesn't really matter, what order you're doing this in. If you have a certain way, I've always done my forehead first. Okay, do your forehead first. There is no magic in this particular part. And with this particular beauty blender, you're just kind of pressing and blurring. Nice soft motions. We're not trying to disturb the foundation. We're just trying to set it. Oh yeah, I'm digging this foundation. I hope it wears well. And I wonder if it plays nicely with their sticks. Okay. We'll see how it does around my eyes and my nose as the day goes on. Okay, so now we got our foundation on. We've got our foundation set. Let's do some contouring because now we're all washed out. So I'm going to be starting with the Hoola bronzer. And you can see I love me some Hoola bronzer. So we're going to be using, this is actually a foundation brush. This is from It Cosmetics. It Cosmetics. Let me see, do I even have the name of that brush on here? I do not. It's a dual-ended. This one is typically going to be used for the concealer, this one for the foundation, but we're going to use this for the bronzer, and we're going to use this one for the highlighter. So we're going to start out with the flat side of this here. And we're just going to get a little of that bronzer on there. We're going to work from the top of the ear in kind of a curved motion towards our nostril. Oh, don't you love that word, nostril? And we're getting right up. So we got the hollow of the cheek here. We're going just above that hollow of the cheek. Giving a little bit of that curved motion in there. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. Yes, so I'm only putting bronzer on one side of the brush, and then that side of the brush is the upside as I'm doing this. Same thing, now it's on this side, and we're going to put that side against the skin here. Just against that hairline, give us a little bit of color up here. Now we're going to move to the side of the brush. Keep a straight face, and we're going to work from the ear to about right here on the chin. So just a little bit past the corner of that lip. And that's going to give you the illusion of a little bit stronger of a chin. And if you got a little extra chins, like I do, it's going to kind of bring that up and give you a little more separation between your chin and then your neck. So just sort of, I don't know. I got stuff there. So there we go. Okay, we're still going to use the soft the side of that. And we're going to come alongside our nose. And we're going to narrow that. And then we're going to end that. Now, if you've got a super skinny nose, although I don't know anyone with one, if you have a super skinny nose, you can probably skip that step. Now I'm going to be using the Cookie highlighter. This is a Benefit Cosmetics. Love the shade of this. Just kind of a nice, little bit of shimmery, sort of champagne color. So we're going to switch to the round end of this. And you're just going to give that a little swirl in whatever highlighter you have. This one's a new one, so it may take me a second. I think we got it. And we're going to work on the top of that cheekbone and right beside the brow on the temple. And then right down the center of the face. Making sure we hit that Cupid's bow right there. Nice. Okay, so now we got all that. We need to put a little bit of color in there. So we're going to switch to our MAC blush brush. And we are going to be using the Juvia's Place Volume 4. And today we're going to be living in, I think we're going to do this one right here. We got a lot of teal and purple and green happening. And I think we probably got enough colors on there. So we're going to bring it down just a little bit on the cheeks so that we can really elevate it on the eyes. So you're just going to give it some swirls in there between the bronzer and the highlighter. We're just going to add that blush and then up between the two on the temple. There you go. Then give a little tap. I'm going to put just a little color up here on the forehead. And whatever's left on that, you can tap that on the tip and then on your chin. Just kind of bring all those colors together. Man, I forgot how much I like that cookie bronzer. I mean, the cookie highlighter. All right. Now, let's look at our lips. So got some super fun color for our lips today. It'll all make sense when we get to the very end. So I'm going to be using the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner. This is in the color Amethyst. And just a nice, beautiful purple color. So we're going to outline our lips with that. And we're really like straddling on that lip line. If you go just a little bit over, cool. And this is just going to give our lips kind of a finish line. And now let's hit that Cupid's bow. All right, now we're going to come just to the inside of that and with a little bit lighter of a pressure, line the inside. That helps to blend out and give you a little bit of a softer edge for a lip line, unless you just want a strong, harsh one. And then it'll also extend the wearability of your lipstick as well. So today we are going to be using the matte lipstick, matte lipstick in the shade Smoked Purple. It is just a beautiful kind of dark smoky grape kind of color. All right. I'm going to fill in the outside first and then come back for the edge. Making sure we got that Cupid's bow nice and pretty. Okay, now the outside edge on the bottom. There we go. That is just such a beautiful color. Every time I wear it, I say, you should wear this more often. Okay, so let's say our verse together. Okay, I know I waited until, like a good waitress, I waited until it came around all the way around on the bottom. Okay, so now it's going there. There we go. Okay, ready? Those who look on him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. I'll eventually get all of that straight. Okay, when we sing it together in a little bit, I'll have it good for you. Okay, so our eyes. We are going to be looking at two different palettes today. One is only kind of for a neutral color. For up on the brow bone, just so we have something to blend into. That's going to be the Nudes from Juvia's Place. There we go. Beautiful colors here. All different kind of nude shades. Depending on your skin tone, you may like the coffee shop for some of the darker pigments. Then we're going to be using the Fula. Like I said earlier, this is from Juvia's Place. We're going to be here. We're going to be living in, the colors are so hard to read because it's white on yellow. Let me see. I think I wrote them down. We're going to be living in Nomad, Taza, Zuba, and Berber. Oh, and a little Zobra. We're going to be all over this palette. Okay, so I'll tell you as we're going along. Okay, so we are going to start out with just a little bit of color up on that brow bone. So we're going to grab our all over shadow brush, grab your Nudes palette, and I think I'm going to do this one right here. It's just kind of a neutral, has a little bit of a gold to it, but not much. So we're just going to get a little bit of shadow on the tip of that and just get that right up here on that brow bone. It's like a non-color color. I mean, I suppose you could just use your concealer a highlighter if you wanted to. That will be fine. If you just want to use a little bit of your foundation, concealer under your brows, you could do that too. I'm just looking for something a little bit neutral there. And I'm seeing right here, you seeing that right there? We got a little something happening with that foundation. Okay. Now, we are going to, let's get into, what did I say? Taza. Which one is that? Okay, this purple one here. We're going to do this one right here. And let me get my screen moved. There we go. So we are going to be working on the outside edge of our eye with this. We're going to kind of work from the outside to the inside today. So we're going to start out with some Taza. Wait, hold on. We're going to start out with a little bit of Taza. Then we're going to add some Nomad. And then we're going to put in some, what's the one I was going to put up on the top there? Zuba. So we're going to, this one. So for right now, let's start light to dark, and then we can just use the same brush. Okay, so all over shadow brush, and we're going to do the Zuba. So we're in this one here. Let me get this minimized ever so slightly. There we go. Okay, and right on your brow bone, right there, right on that, where that eye socket is, we're just going to put a little bit of that here, and we're going to blend into that. And you can see I didn't leave very much space there for that Nude's shadow to kind of shine through, just a little bit. Okay, now let's take the Taza, this one here, and Taza. So same brush, right on the tip. Taza is going to go just under that. And for right now, we're just going to leave that as kind of a line. Hang with me, we'll fix it. So we've got a little bit of Taza right there, and then we've got that Zuba up above it, and then our Nude on the top of that. Now, I'm actually going to switch to a different brush because I feel like in working on the outer corner, we're not going to bring the next one all the way in. We're just going to go about halfway. So that's going to be the Nomad. That is this shade right here. And so we're going to use the flat edge of the brush, and we're just going to get a little bit of that right here. And we're going to go right here with that, about halfway. And let's just bring a tiny bit of that in here. And you don't need to be all neat. We're just depositing color right now. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. And remember, you're just kind of tapping it in there. Okay, we're going to give it a little more over here. Want to deepen that color. Okay. Now, if you've had any fallout at this point, you're going to take your fluffy brush and we're just going to dust off that fallout. All right. So we are going to use Berber, I think it is. Yes, this one right here. And I am going to... Let me actually do that with a narrow, elongated smudger. This is going to act kind of like your finger. Berber is really a little bit of a shimmery, and we want to kind of set it in place. You could use the tip of your finger, but when you do that, you kind of lose control a little bit. With this, you're going to have a little more precision. So we're just going to get a little bit of that Berber. You could actually do both sides of the brush if you want to, as long as you're doing it a little bit. And we're going to put that Berber right here on that inside. And then blend that over to the Nomad. All the way to the corner and right over that Nomad. And then I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Okay, Fula. And I feel like we need just a little bit more of this over here. So let's just intensify that color a little bit. And now we're going to blend out just a little bit onto that purple up above. And then blending just a little bit into that glitter shade that we just put on there. Now we're going to take our all over brush. When last we used, it had, what's the Taza on it. And we're going to just blend those together and then blend that ever so gently up into that top one. And then if you need to grab a little bit of that Zuba and just blend that there. Okay. And I feel like we need Nomad to get with the program here. There we go. I tell you what I think we're going to do. I think we're going to take a tiny spray from our Ready Set Play. This is our Juvia's Place primer. We're just going to spray a spray of that on my tabletop here. Without dropping things everywhere would be preferable. We're going to take our angle brush that we were using, just tap it into that setting spray, and then put that color on with that. That setting spray will help that color to adhere a little better. There we go. There we go. Okay, much better, much better. Okay, so now we're going to take a pointed smudger and we're going to go into the color Zobra, which is this one right here. Kind of a nice little greenish-y kind of color. And just get that on the very tip. And we're going to put that right here in the corner. I thought that was going to be a little lighter. Let's just dip a little into the fez, which is that kind of gold color there. Let's brighten that up just a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to take just a little bit and get that right on that blend on the outside corner. All right. Now I'm not putting extra shadow on this, but I'm going to go ahead and take that blender that I first put that nude on with and just kind of go over that area there, right here in the center. Okay. Ooh, I like that so far. You can see we've got just a little bit of shimmer. I'm actually going to take just my finger and let's just make sure we've got that nice and good. Your finger has a tendency to just sort of make it set a little better. I just don't like to use it as the initial application. I feel like it gets a little like everywhere. You can't direction it as much with your finger. Okay, nice. Now we're going to add a little bit of liner and then we'll do the under part. Okay, so I am grabbing my NYX. This is the, what is the name of this? Retractable eyeliner in black. Things I love about this. It is well, I don't know if they claim it to be waterproof, but I have found it to be waterproof. When you put it on there, it stays. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smear, it doesn't bleed, it doesn't do any of those funky things. And it's retractable, so you don't have to worry about having a sharpener. So we're going to work from the outside edge. We're going to go about halfway in. Outside edge, about halfway in. And then we're going to use this on the bottom lid. We're going to go from the outside about halfway in. Very light line. We're not trying to get, super thick and dark. We just want a little bit of a line so we've got something to blend into when we put that bottom shadow down there. You go right about halfway. Just a little bit of something there. Okay. Now we're going to grab the oval smudger that we had before, and we're going to blend down some of the colors that we've got up on the top down onto the bottom. So we're going to start out in, what's the name of that one? Nomad. Okay, note to self, if you ever make an eyeshadow palette, don't do white printing on yellow background. Okay, so we're just going to use the tip of it. We're just kind of getting it in there. We're going to go from the outside corner right on that black line. And we're going to go just a little more than halfway across there. And blend in around that corner. We're just going to bring that color in a little bit more right here. Okay, go ahead and use that tissue to wipe off what you've got there. We are now going to go into the, what was the Berber? So just the tip right into that Berber, just ever so slightly. And between where we've got fez, right there, you're just going to get a little bit of that right there. And I actually think I'm going to put a little out here. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. All right. Nice. So before we get to our brows, we're going to do our last liner. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. And we're going to line that top lid so then we put our lashes on. We won't be able to have any kind of a gap or anything like that. So we're going to go from the outside edge right along that lash line and just give it a nice thin line. Now, if you have smaller eyes, you can go a little bit thicker with a line. That will help to kind of open up that eye a little bit. Okay. Now, once this bad boy sets, it is not going anywhere. It does take just a second for it to dry down. So while that's happening, we're going to work on our brows. So whatever your brow product is, for me, that's going to be the Festival by Juvia's Place. Yes, I'm using an eyeshadow for an eyeliner. My hair is fading out, but it's still orange. So we're going to do this one right here. Manwu. And I am going to be using a brow brush. So kind of like it was a pomade, or, you know, they've got the powder brow products just like that. It's just that you're using an eyeshadow. All right. So on the flat face of this brush, you're going to get a little bit of that color there. And then we're just going to deposit that color right into that brow. And, ooh, I accidentally dipped into Isafa. That is a bright red color. So let's not do that. And if you don't know what brow product to use, you don't know how to use a brow product, come and see my girl Olivia. And she will teach you what you need to know. If you need your brows waxed like I did yesterday, you can come in and she'll do that. She can thread you. She can wax you. She can do lamination. She can teach you about brow products. She has got you covered as far as brows go. Also, she has a wonderful brow setter as well. So if you need something easy that works efficiently, there you go. In fact, I believe on Saturday we have a benefit event. So that'll be fun. You'll get to see their new product launch. So come out. I know there will be a gift with purchase, and we'll be doing all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, there we go. Checking the brows. Okay, I'm excited. Yay. We're nearing the finish line, people. Okay, so now we've got all that on. We have the lashes left to do, and then we'll set the whole thing. So I am going to be using my Tweezerman Onyx Great Grip lash thing. I love the handle on this because it keeps your fingers from getting, you know, kind of crampy. And then we're going to be using the L'Oreal Voluminous Hydrofuge. I almost said eyeliner. Mascara. I know, I can't with me either. Okay. So when you put your lash curler on, you want to make sure that it crimps as close to your lash line as possible, but it doesn't pinch your eye. So you're going to set it down. You're going to give it kind of a test crimp, and just make sure that you're not catching your lid too much with that. If you do feel any kind of pinching at all on the lid, release it, pull it out just a little bit, and then do it again. So we're actually going to use our verse as a timer. So it should be scrolling across the bottom of your screen. I'm getting it so I can get it right. So this is kind of a shorter verse. So we're going to say it twice. That's going to be our timer for our crimping. You ready? So we're going to get it there. Get your thing in place. And here we go. Those who look on him are radiant, and their faces shall never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. One more time. Those who look to him are radiant, and their faces will never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. Okay, release that. Move to the other eye. Get that ready. Find your sweet spot. Okay, there we go. And here we go. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces will never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. One more time. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces will never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. Okay, you are curled now and good to go. So let's grab our mascara. This one I like because it does great volume. It's a smooth mascara and it is waterproof. So we're just going to give a light coat on here so that our lashes match the lashes that we're going to put on. My lashes are kind of blonde, brown, clear. So this will make them blend in. If you are gifted with black lashes, you can probably skip this step altogether, except for maybe the bottom ones. So we're just going to give it a light coat. And let's do that same thing on the other side. You know, do you ever wonder what it'd be like to have somebody else's color? I wonder what it would be like to have... I always wanted dark brown hair when I was a kid, but what would it be like to have black hair? Everything would be different. The colors that you pick would be different. The way you do things would be different. The colors you wear would be different. I wonder, would you act different? I don't know. Interesting. I think you always want what you don't have. I know, as you can see, because it's growing out, I have naturally blonde hair, and I get asked all the time, why do you color your hair if you're naturally blonde? As if being blonde is like the best thing in the world. I mean, it's got its bonuses. It is beautiful. It does go with my blue eyes well. But just a little conversation while we're putting our mascara on. So let's catch our bottom ones now. Little girl talk. And I have a tendency to make this funny thing with my mouth like that. I think it's because when you do that, it pulls your skin down, so you've got less of a possibility of getting mascara on your cheek. I don't know, is it me? Do you make weird faces too? I'm getting yes. So makeup application is just for weird faces. Gotcha. All right, so let's do the bottom lash now. And we are almost done. Why is it? Okay, that's not pretty. Here we go. Why is it whenever you go to put your mascara on, you're overwhelmed with this sense of needing to sneeze? That happens to me all the time. Does that happen to you too? I have only done it a handful of times. You sneeze and then your mascara that is not dry is like totally transferred to your cheek. Has anybody else had that happen? Okay, good. I am not alone in this. All right, so because we're going to put on a false lash, we're only going to do one coat of mascara because we just don't need more than that. We are going to be using the Nubian lash. This is from Juvia's Place. This one is called Zaria. This is a flare, and flare means that it's smaller on the inside and longer and wider on the outside. Now, these have already been trimmed. I think I did that actually last week on the show. So if you're going to trim your lash, just kind of grab your tool And you'll just do a dry fit. So grab that lash from the outside edge of the tray, and then you're just going to kind of set it there. And if it seems too long, then you're going to trim just a little bit from the outside edge of the lash. I'm pulling these off the tray while we're talking. You do the outside edge of the lash because you want your inside to stay nice and tight and short. If you trim from there, then you're making it longer. So always just trim from the outside edge. If this was a new lash, we would also soften the band. You take either end of it and then you just kind of roll it like this. That kind of softens it a little bit so that when you go to put it on, it's going to be more towards the shape of your eye. Usually you get about, I'm going to say like 15, 20 uses out of a pair of Juvia's Place lashes. And so the more you wear them, the more they are going to shape and conform to the shape of your eye. So that's a good thing. All right, so we are going to be using, this is the Eye Lure, and this is the 18-hour lash glue. And then we're going to grab our lashes from the center and then open up that lash glue. I think it's about time to get a new one. This has a nice flat paddle. So we're going to catch the top of that lash with that adhesive. And then we're going to catch the back side right on that band with the adhesive as well. This is going to get you the best stickness adhesion for your lashes. And we want to make sure that we catch the outside corners, both of them, well, because we don't want that, getting disturbed and having lift and all that good fun stuff. All right, so on the edge of that, on the top of that band, and then on the back side of that band. And then making sure that we catch our corners really good. You'll see that this one goes on white. I would love to be able to use a black glue, but usually the black glue has latex in it, and my eyes evidently do not like latex. So if you ever find a nice black glue that works well, that does not have latex in it, let me know. I've tried it, I think maybe 2, and while they didn't have latex, they didn't work worth the dang anyways. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first lash. When you very first put that glue on, it was very, very shiny. And you'll see as it gets ready to go that it will lose its shininess a little bit and it'll start to become a little bit clear. And this one is just about ready to go. If you needed to hurry along just a little bit, you can grab it in the middle there and just kind of fan it out. And it looks like I might have got a little bit of glue on the tip there. So let me get that off. There you go. You can see right there. So we're just going to use our fingers to gently remove that. And if all else fails, you can use your lash comb. There you go. And let your lash comb get that. Okay, so now we're going to take this. We're making sure we're setting the lashes on the right eye. This one's pretty easy because it's a flare. So then we're just going to set it right there in the middle, right where your lash meets your skin there. And then we're going to grab the inside edge, get that put down. Outside edge. It looks like I need to walk it over my lashes a little. There we go. And I think I got some adhesive on the tool. So let's just wipe that off with that tissue. And then we're just going to pull that down and put it where we want it. And then we'll take the tip of that and work your lashes into those lashes. So you'll be able to see that white line until the adhesive dries. Once it dries, you won't see that anymore. I'm just going to pinch the two of these together. There we go. Okay, nice. Now we're going to go to the other side since that one's been sitting there for a minute. He does not need any fanning. There we go. Right there in the middle. Get that edge on. And then work the outside edge. Sorry, I touched my little thing, change the color of my mirror. My elbow likes to do that. Okay, take that tip of that tool, work your lashes into the lashes. Make sure you got everything where you want it to be. I'm gonna get these together right here. Looks like I got a lash that needs to be convinced he belongs to the family. There we go. Okay. And then I usually like to just kind of press them. Just make sure that everything is nice and tight and against the skin flush where it needs to be. Okay. That makes such a difference, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. So once you've got your makeup every place where you want it, I am actually going to take my puff thing here. And let's just go over this just a tiny bit. We were playing with some kind of darker colors. So I'm just getting a little bit of powder on the tip of that, then dusting it off. We're just going to go over that area. And I'm actually going to take my little bullet and go right up in here. Some of this could be because of the foundation that I haven't used before, but I feel like that got a little kind of crunchy looking in there. Here we go. And now that we have blended that out a bit, we're going to do one more thing because I feel like we have wiped off that cookie a little bit. So the brush that you had the cookie with, you've already got them on there. So just go over that again. Alrighty. Woo woo. So now we need to set everything so that it will stay all day. So Juvie is placed, ready, set, sealed. We use that for the eyeshadow, getting that to be where we wanted it to be. So now we're just going to set our makeup with that. And this delivers a nice satin finish. And it's just going to seal that makeup in so that all day long it lasts well and then just sits pretty. So what do you think about that new foundation? I like the way it feels. We'll see how it holds up. Very nice. Shadow came out pretty. See that little bit of shimmer we got going on there. Nice teal color. Okay, so thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week on social media, or better yet, come see me at my store in Midlothian. And so we are going to say our verse together again. So our verse for this week, which is scrolling across the bottom of your screen, those who look to him are radiant. Their faces will never be ashamed. Psalm 34:5. So again, be looking for that Book of James planner, journal, coloring book. It's actually called Color Me James. So I look forward to be able to present that to you. Man, I'm hoping in this next week. It has been a project, a labor of love. I assure you of that. So again, you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Podbeam, Instagram, you get it. Okay, so until we meet, I'll also put a video link to that or embed the player or whatever for the song. Favorite version of Psalm 34 is the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. So I hope that you will take a look at that, because that is just just a beautiful, beautiful rendition of that song. Okay, so our verses I send you out this week is going to be from Numbers 6:24 through 26, and that is, the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how much I thank you for all the people who have hung out with me here live, who are watching this later on. Father, I pray a blessing upon them this week, Father, as we work through Psalm 34, that you would help us to hide these words in our heart, Father, that they would be there for us, that the Holy Spirit would speak to us through them, that they would encourage and edify us, and that they would, bring glory to you as we worship you through memorizing these scriptures. I pray also that they would come to mind as we need to, say them and express these scriptures to those who are around us. Father, help us to use these as words of encouragement. Father, I thank you so much for making me a woman and giving me the ability to finger paint every single day. And I just pray that you would bless the people who are watching this as they go throughout their work and as we work on this verse together. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Well, it has been a joy to hang out with you today. I look forward to seeing you in person or on the podcast on social media. So it has been a great day with you. Have a beautiful day. Goodbye and God bless.